just going to do a little scan from the crown of your head to the tip of your toes. And I like just to imagine there's a little white light at the crown of my head. And I bring that light down into the crown of my head and all the way down my spine. And I allow that light to come all the way down. And as it travels down my body, I just check in with little spots and notice what I need to pay attention today when I'm moving my body. And I bring that light all the way down. It splits into two at my pelvis, goes down each leg, crisscrosses at the ankle, comes back to my pelvis, meets together and comes back to the crown of my head. So just take one more moment to set an intention for your day. Set, maybe you just want to go through your day without any hassles or aggravations, or maybe you just want to smile more today. Whatever your intention is for you, that's where you want to go. Don't stress too much on what should my intention be. Your intention could be to just feel better. So take 5 more deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Once you get to 5 breaths, you're just gonna come into a tabletop. And I like to go a little bit wider on my hips than I do. I don't go directly underneath my hip. My knees are a little bit wider than my hips. And I'm just gonna move gently from side to side for a second. And then I'm gonna push into a little cat and then down into a little cow. Now, if cow bothers your low back, I want you to come to neutral and then just bring the shoulder blades together. But we're looking for just a little cat-cow. And then we're gonna walk our hands about one step forward and then find a down dog. So, first down dog in the morning is usually a little tight. So I would bend and move your legs, bend a leg, bend the other leg. Maybe you pick one foot up, maybe you pick one hand up. Just make sure you're not picking them all up at the same time. Then bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float, and bring your feet up to your hands. Fingertips to shins, we're gonna lengthen up. So I want you to think halfway lift. So think deadlift, okay? Straight leg deadlift is what you're thinking. Exhale and fold. Now, if you're really tight, this is where blocks are super awesome. So we can bend and move and bend a leg and straighten a leg. And we're just trying to see how those hips feel. If you guys feel like me, I am sore from Wednesday. And then you're gonna bend your knees. You're gonna roll yourself all the way to standing. Just gentle little squeeze when you get to the top. Bring the arms up. This is always, you can go wherever you want to. So if you need a little side to side, if you need a little back bend, whatever works best for your body, right? We're just going for what feels good to me. And then we're gonna exhale, we're gonna fold it back down. So anytime you're in a forward fold and you feel like you need to bend and move, feel free. If you're starting to feel like, whoo, yeah, you might not be there yet. Just feel like you're getting a little closer. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Shoulders back, gazes to the floor. It's like a straight line from the crown of your head to the tip of your tail. Plant your hands down. You're gonna step back, hop back, jump back, and we're gonna go high to low. So like a push-up, you can always come to your knees, and then you're gonna find cobra, up dog, or sphinx. So if you got low back stuff, forearm stuff is gonna be really good. If you don't have quite the low back stuff, you can come up to whatever feels good. So you can come up to a baby cobra, you can come a full up dog. And then bring it back up to tabletop. and find a child's pose for a minute. So when you're doing child's pose, because it's an easy one to overarch your back, think about gently squeezing your glute and bringing your glute towards your heel, and that'll get your pelvis in line. And then lengthen the arms out, your head can rest to your mat. Take a deep breath in. Bring it back up to tabletop, back to down dog. And then bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up, shoulders back. Exhale and fold. So you might get to the ground, you might be like, I'm not quite there yet, and that's okay. Now bend your knees, ground into the floor, round or roll yourself all the way up. Nice at the top. Get a nice little stretch wherever it feels good. Okay, exhale for folding back down. And don't worry so much about your breathing as in regards to when you're supposed to inhale and exhale. That comes with time. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up, just like when you guys lift and you learn how to breathe, same thing. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, high to low. Find your up dog, your cobra, your sphinx. And then meet me in down dog. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can simply come down to your knees and bring your right foot to your hands. So you're coming into a low lunge. Or you can bring your right knee towards your chest and then lengthen that leg high to the sky. So you can go from here and then bring that leg up and through and find here, but we're gonna come down on the back knee. Okay? So what I'm looking for first. And remember, this is a little bit of balance. So I have a slight angle in my front shin and my back hip is not directly, or my back knee isn't directly underneath my hip. It's back a little further because I want to push down into that hip. And so if I need my blocks, because this is very much going to be right here. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to press down here. I'm going to use my blocks if I need to. And I'm looking for a stretch in that left hip flexor. So right here, we're probably like, oh, whoo, right? So if your face is like, I want you to think about just taking a deep breath. When you can get a deep breath without being like that, then I want you to hinge your hip back, lift your toes, leave your heel. And now we're gonna find, the hamstring. Feeling those deadlifts from Wednesday? Because I'm feeling them right now. So now we're in the hamstring of the right. Now I just want you to connect your breath with your body. So this might feel better to you. Or you might come here and breathe 1 or 2 times and then bring it back. So what we're doing is we're going left hip, right hamstring, and we're connecting our breath to our movement, which is allowing us to open up those spaces. Sarah, this is the first time you've done yoga with me, isn't it? Oh, I think it is. Or no, you did last week or last month. You did last month. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now, from here, we are just gonna, because you should feel a lot better now. Like, ooh, that feels better. So what I want you to do is drive down this back knee, find this good position, lengthen up, and I want you to bring your arms up first. Now, if you want, arms could stay here. They could be wider. You could bring them down to heart center. If you want and feel good, you can take left elbow to the outside of right knee or close to that. So if I do that, I first come here, and then I'm gonna go press against my knee against my elbow, and lengthen up as I press my palms together and look over my right elbow. I might not be here long. I might be like just a little quick one, and then coming back down and bring that right leg back behind you. So if you want to hip circle it, you can. If you want to donkey kick it, you can. And then we're going to find a down dog. So I just want you to check in from your right leg versus your left. And then you can either bring that left leg up and through. You can either just bring it there, or you can bring your left knee towards your chest and then lengthen it up into three-legged dog. And then bring that left leg up and through. So we're looking for here first. So what I want to do is have a slight angle in the front shin. And if my back knee is behind my hip. So I'm going to drive down that right hip. Ooh, that's a tight hip. And first I'm going to breathe. So the reason I have the blocks is because if I were to go to the ground with my hands, I would get out, I would end up getting myself out of this stretch in my right hip. And I don't want that. I want the nice stretch. When we're ready, we hinge it back, we lift the toes, we leave the heel, we find the hamstring of the left. Oh. When you say, coach is just as tight as you guys, I am. So now is where you just kind of decide. Going forward and back, connecting your breath. As you go forward and back, your face will start to relax and it won't be so tense. And then if you're feeling good, you can either stay right here and bring the arms up, or you can bring them out wider, or heart center. Now, if we go heart center, I go right elbow to the outside of left knee. So I go elbow to knee first to my back. Then what I do is then I press against my knee and lift my chest up and press against my palms and look again behind my left elbow. Twists are a little hard to breathe in. That's okay. You're gonna bring it back forward. You're gonna bring that leg back. You might hip circle it, hug it in, donkey kick it. And then find a down dog. Check in with your legs. Bend your knees, look at your hands. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Shoulders back, it's like a straight leg deadlift, gazes to the floor. Hopefully our hamstrings might be opening up a little bit. I'm not feeling so tight. Exhale and fold it. So if you need those blocks, use those blocks. You need to bend. Bend. It's probably like the biggest advice I could give anybody. If you are tight and you're doing yoga, bend your limbs. Now bend your knees, roll yourself all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze, bring it all the way up. Maybe you're starting to notice your shoulders a little bit more open. And then exhale, fold it back down. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Shoulders back. Maybe a little gentle check in with your neck. Plant your hands, step back, hop back, jump back. High to low. Find that up dog, that cobra, that sphinx. And then press it up to down dog. And take a moment and find child's pose. So knees are wide, big toes can touch. If you want a deeper stretch in your arms and you have two blocks, you can put two blocks, just varies how close you want to put them together. I usually go thumbs up, and then I press my hips back and drop my head through. And you can do this any variety of ways if you need the blocks higher. Or you can use no blocks. And just take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Just take a moment to find your breath, just like we did in the beginning. And then rise yourself back up to a slight tabletop and then to down dog. Walk it out, move it as much as you need. And then bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Bring your arms down. Okay, if you have blocks, awesome. If you don't have blocks, that's okay, but blocks are helpful for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm standing here a little bit further back from the top of my mat, and I'm gonna step back with 1 foot. Now, I want you to see my setup. I am train tracked, okay? But I have my knees and toes are in the same direction. My back foot is like a 45 angle, okay? Now, watch where I'm going first because I don't want you to feel this in your low back. I use blocks because it makes it easier. Now, what I want you to think is I bring my hands to my hips and you're gonna hinge your hip back. Both my legs are straight. And I'm gonna keep my ribs in and I'm gonna come to here. I'm gonna find a stretch in my hamstring, okay? This is an intense side stretch. Looks like this if I put my feet forward, okay? So it looks like this. Feet forward. I show your feet to the side. Okay. Now, when you're here, I want you to think about when you push that hip back. If I come down to blocks, awesome. When you're here, think about pressing into this front heel, pressing back into that back heel. You should feel a stretch. Ooh, super intense stretch. Hamstring, side of your IT band. Now, I don't have to go any further than this because I'm like, whoo. Now, if you want a little bit more intense things or things that you can kind of play around with, right? Bend your back knee, keeping your heel on the floor. You might feel a deep stretch in your ankle. You can also, and then also make sure you're pressing down into that front heel as I'm bending the back leg. Now, well, you can also go back straight, but then you can also lift the heel up off the back and still bend the knee and get a little bit different of a stretch. Just make sure you're grounding into that front heel so you're still feeling that stretch in the hamstring and side leg. Now to come out of this pose, bend your front knee and then bring it back up. There you go. Step it forward. I do that, and you can move your leg however you need. I do that so you guys don't do this. And I do this because I show you guys all the bad ways not to do things, right? So if you keep that front leg straight, what happens is this. All goes into low back. So when you bend a knee, it gives you more support to ground in and come up. So we're switching legs. All right, so 1 foot, back foot, they all have their own lane. But your back leg is about 45 degrees turned out. Your knees and toes are in the same direction. Now I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna bring my hips to my hands, or my hands to my hips. It's funny. Hinge it back. You're finding the stretch here. Bring it to those blocks if you need. Now, if you don't have blocks, then you're trying to maintain here. If, like, see, I can't touch the floor. It's okay. You can always bend that knee and come out of a pose when you need to. So fun little things we can do here. We want to think about first grounding into that heel and the toes of the front leg and grounding into that back leg so we get a nice intense stretch in the side. Now, if you want to bend the back knee and see where that ankle goes, my ankle mobility is way better on my right than it is on my left. You want to still make sure that you're pushing down into and grounding into that heel and that front foot. You can always come up off the heel too. So when I come off the heel, I can press into this front leg a little bit more and get a little deeper into that side stretch. Ooh, it's a little intense. And then when you're ready to come out of this, you bend that front leg and bring it back up. Now, fun little things you can do just to give you a little, awesome if you want a back strengthener. If you can keep your core engaged, this is a back strengthener where you're gonna come up and come down. Just like this, maintaining. This is a back strengthener. Now, you don't have to do that by any means. I just wanted to show you because there's really a good exercise. All right, shake it out. Come to the top of your mat. Bring the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Check in, see how that's starting to feel. Then halfway lift, so straight leg deadlift. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back. You're going high to low. And then meet me in down dog. Now, just like before, you can be fancy or you cannot be fancy. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna bring my right leg forward. I'm gonna lengthen it high to the sky. And then I'm gonna bring my right leg up and through. Now, I'm gonna take my back left foot. I'm gonna turn the big toe mound. I'm gonna drop down my back heel. And then what I'm gonna do is rise myself up. So the first thing I want you to do, if you need to adjust, because your hips are gonna be open to the side, not forward. So if you feel like your hips are going this way, I want you to lift your toes, slide your back heel back. I want your hips open to the side. So whatever your side is to you, so that's like you guys to me. So right now your legs are straight. I'm gonna bend my knee and I'm gonna find warrior two stance. So other way, Sarah, there you go. But watch your front knee. I don't want your knee going in. I want you to think heel to arch alignment with your feet. So if I were to, let me show you this way. Because what I see a lot of from people are this. I want you to think. So I want you to, yes, there you go. But watch that knee. So don't let your knee come in. Just find here. So this is your foundation for your warrior. It's a huge hip opener. I'm gonna bring my arms up and bring my arms out wide and strong. So shoulders are back, arms are down, and they're strong. Whoo, and you're breathing. Your gaze is over your fingertips. Now you're gonna ground into both your feet, so make sure your weight is on all your feet. Take that right arm, bring it to your knee. Okay, lower body stays the same. Keep engaged in this arm. Bring it up, extended triangle. Now, if you wanted, if you're feeling good, woohoo, you could be a block. You could be not a block. You could bind. You could half bind. Or you could stay right here. Now I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna bring it back behind me. I'm gonna ground into my front foot. I'm gonna bring it back up. And then I'm gonna find a warrior two again. Nice, bend that front knee. Now turn the palm of the front hand. Back hand's gonna go hip or back leg. And you're gonna find a reverse warrior. So front leg can be straight or bent. Back hand can be down your leg or on your hip. And you're looking at your right hand. Bring it all the way back. Turn your hand, turn your back foot, find a down dog. And then bring it down, find a child's pose for a moment. Check in with those hips a little bit. See how they feel. Bring it back up to tabletop, back to down dog. And then we're gonna bring the left leg up and through. So you're gonna do the same thing with the left. You're gonna bring the left up, bring it up and through. So now we're gonna lunge. So I'm gonna turn on the big toe mound, drop my heel back. If I need blocks, this is where I can use them to help me come up. So I'm gonna come up to here. I'm gonna adjust my feet first. I'm gonna turn so you guys can see me. So I'm gonna adjust my feet first, and I just wanna make sure that my hips are open to the side. So if they're not, I need to adjust that back leg, whether I lift the toes, but I want to find this. So if my foot's really far forward and I'm finding this, I want to physically move my foot forward. So I go triangle position and then I drop the knee down to here. Ooh, you should feel this right here. Groin, nice big stretch. So we find this first, and then we bring arms out and we find a nice strong warrior two. Ooh, You should be feeling this inner thighs. Shoulders should be nice and strong. And then we're gonna bring our left elbow down to our knee. Notice how my lower body doesn't change. I can either have my hands straight up in the air. I can have it out in front of me. I can bind it or half bind it. Now, when you're ready, you're gonna bring that right arm all the way back up. Find a warrior two. Turn the palm of the left hand. Right hand's going hip or back leg. I'm looking at my left hand, bringing it back, reverse warrior. Nice, bring it all the way back. Find a nice strong warrior two. Open hips up. Turn the hands, bring it back down. Find a down dog. Then bring the knees down, find a child's pose. Take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out to your mouth. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna rise it up to tabletop, and then you're gonna find down dog. Now bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Maybe we're getting closer to the ground. Maybe we're grabbing the back of our calves. Maybe we're stepping. This is one of my favorites. When I step on my hands, so I'm palm up, and I step on my hands with my feet, and then I bring my shoulders back and down. You get a little bit more of an intense stretch in the upper hamstring. Now bend your knees, roll yourself all the way to standing. Nice big squeeze. Maybe the arms are coming side to side. How are we feeling? How are them legs feeling? Do you feel like we have legs again? Like, wow, like, right? So I'm all about is hip openers. Okay, we're gonna do a little balance, because what's a yoga class without some balance, right? We're not gonna do anything crazy, friends. I'm not gonna make you go into crazy transitions, right? So I think I'm gonna give you an option. You can either do, and I'll show you both. You can do tree pose, or you could do warrior threes. Warrior threes are gonna be similar to single leg deadlifts, okay? So let's do tree pose first. So if you want, you can do both, and I'm just gonna demo, and then I'm gonna give you just a few minutes to play around with both on both sides. So tree pose, you can always have something near you to hold on to, right? In case you need it. So I want you to think about grounding into your big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel. There's gonna be three places you can go. You're either going ankle, calf, or above the knee, inner thigh, okay? When I'm here, I'm thinking about pressing in and opening my hip up. So if I feel like I'm right here, like if I can't open my hip up, then I might want to come more of a kickstand, okay? So you're going to think about grounding in big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel. Raise this leg up, squeeze the glute, own this first. Grab your ankle, and we come here. And your tree might move. So we'll play around with that. The other thing you can play around with is warrior threes. Warrior threes, you're gonna think single leg deadlift, and you're gonna think about keeping, but you just have no weight. So I'm gonna bring my leg behind me as I raise it, ground into my big toe, pinky toe, center of my heel, keep my ribs in. Ooh, my balance today. And your balance might be all over the place. You can always have something to reach out to, and you don't have to have that leg as high. So if you get here, that's fine, okay? I just want you to pay attention to your feet and your ankles. And if you're like, whoo, all over the place, because the more that you can ground into that big toe, pinky toe, and your heel, you're going to have a better balance. So if I go the other side, And you want to be gazing at something that's not moving. So when I come to tree and bring my left leg to the inner thigh, I squeeze that right glute. The very last thing to come up will be my hands. And your tree might move. Nice, Katie. And remember, it's first thing in the morning. I'm making you balance first thing in the morning. And then you can always go, nice, Amy. And don't ever feel bad for using something. I always use something if I need to, especially if I'm doing like pigeon, like standing pigeon. When I'm doing this, I always come into where I have something to hold on to because I tend to need to get a deeper stretch. So if you did both sides and you want to do a standing pigeon, you can. My balance is all funky today. Nice, Amy. Here you go, Sarah. Nice, Katie. And then it's like playing around with things like your hands. So if you find, and so if you're really good at tree pose, I'll give you a tree pose fun one. So if you have something like this, or like, either of these, and you're tree pose, because I have some ladies and some guys that can rock out tree pose like nobody's business, right? And they're just like, bam. So I've had to learn how to challenge them. So ways to challenge. Block makes it a little bit more unstable. So this becomes a little more challenging. Now, if it's like, that's kind of challenging, right? Here's the big guns, okay? If you want to work on ankle stability and strengthening, here's what you do. You take one of these, as you guys see, like bam, like watch, yep. Tree pose, okay. This takes a little more focus because you're challenging your ankles. So if you have one of these at home, it becomes a little harder. It becomes a little harder to balance, but it's because it's challenging your ankles and it's a way to strengthen your ankles. So if you are looking for an ankle strengthener, that is one that is good for you. Okay, friends, let's bring the arms up. Let's exhale and fold it down. Check in with those hips, hamstrings, see how they feel. Fingertips to shins, halfway lift. Shoulders back, ground into those feet. Plant your hands down. Step back, hop back, jump back. You can always go to your knees, high to low. Find your up dog, your cobra, your sphinx. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Meet me in down dog. And bring it down to your knees. You can sit back on your heels, or you can flip your legs out in front of you, and then flip your legs out in front of you. So we're sitting. Okay, so get comfortable on your sit bones, first of all, because we want to make sure sometimes we just got to kind of settle in, right? And then nice tall spine. So what I'm looking for here first is I just want to think nice tall spine, flexing my toes back towards me. I'm going to bring my arms up high and I'm going to hinge at my hip and I might not be touching my toes, okay? The first time I might come here and lengthen my arms up so I can find length from my fingers down to my hips, okay? And I might come back up and then exhale. So I'm hinging and pushing my hip back and trying to get a little lower. And just maybe 2 or 3 times here with really good body position. And then if we're feeling good and we're like, oh, I want to round my back and grab my feet, I can. If you can't quite get to your toes, you can always take a band, okay? And use the band to get yourself further. So I just want you to find a nice little stretch. And then bring it back up. We're gonna turn to the side if you need to. So you go wide first, and then I want you to take your right foot and put it on inner thigh. So you're gonna feel like, I want you to feel like tree pose seated. So your hips, you're gonna be like seated tree pose is what you're looking for. We just did tree pose. This will like totally make sense, right? Okay. Now, What I'm going to do is same thing. I'm going to come forward here and find a stretch. And I might get to my foot, I might not. And that's okay. Now, you're going to come back up to center and you're going to watch me here. Because we're going to do a fun little thing called Wild Thing, but in a way that everybody can do it. And because I love it. So when you're here, when you come back, you're going to ground into your front shin. I'm going to take my right hand, so the hand leg that's bent, right hand behind me. And when I come back to here, I'm going to press into my shin and raise my leg up and bring it back down. Yep, bring it back down. And then I might come forward, and then I'm going to come back and go hand behind my right hip, pressing into that right shin, coming up on my left leg is straight, arm is straight. And then bring it back down. And then we're switching sides. And if you want to take one more stretch forward, you can. And then we're switching sides. So tree pose, right? Thinking tree pose. And then I'm going to come up, hinge at that hip, bring it down. I might get to the floor. I might not, just kind of depends. If I can get my knee to my shin. And then I'm going to come up. I'm going to take my left hand behind my hip and I'm going to ground into my shin, lift my hips up, and then bring it back down whenever I want to, and then come back down for an opposite stretch. I'm just not making you guys flip your dog today. All right, we're gonna go wide. They're like, oh no, have your blocks if you need them. Okay, you can do this on a wall too. So where you could be laying on your back with your legs up against the wall like this, where you're going wide. It is helpful if you are not so flexible in this area, okay? So it's nice to just hang at the wall like this. What I wanna pay attention to is just my knees, okay? I want my knees and toes staying in the same direction. I don't want my knees turning in. Some people gonna use blocks on this, some are not. I wanna think about keeping my ribs in, hinging my hip back, and I'm gonna walk it out. You might get here and be like, whoo, I feel that, right? And you might be like, this is where I'm at, Holly, right? Or you might be here. It just kind of depends where you are at. If you need a little bend in your knee, because your hamstrings are tight. The other good thing that's helpful is if you have like little blankets or towels, you can put them underneath your knees, and then it makes it a little easier to come forward. And then you're gonna bring it back up. We're gonna bring our legs together. We're gonna shake it out maybe for a second. Maybe you wanna give yourself one more little forward fold. Hey friends, this is the most important part of yoga, but you can't fall asleep. No fall asleep. Okay, because I can't not do a yoga class and not do a little bit of Shavasana, right? So you're in corpse pose. So you're doing this, but you're not going to be like this, right? Take up as much space as you want because you can, okay? All I want you to worry about is just letting your body relax. And I know that's difficult at times. So you're just going to let me talk you into a little body scan. So if you notice your mind is like going to like, oh gosh, what do I got to do for work later, right? When I start telling you body parts, to go to that body part, because all of that stuff will be there. It will still be there later. I want you to just worry about breathing and being comfortable. That means you can be propped up on anything that you want. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just start to take this time to settle into your body, settle out of your mind. and seal in your practice. So start to relax your feet, your toes, the soles of your feet. Relax and release your ankles. Front, back, sides of your shins. Even let your kneecaps just sink down a little deeper to your mat. Really letting the weight of your legs and your feet start to settle against the back of your body. Take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Release that grip, that tightness, that tension that we hold in our pelvis, and notice how much more open, relaxed, released our low back, belly, and our hips. Soften your belly. Relax the front, back, sides of your ribs. And notice the rise and fall of your breath. Notice just how much more relaxed it is from almost an hour ago. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Release your hands. Relax your fingers. Allow your fingertips to naturally just curl towards the palms. Settle into your forearms, elbows, upper arms. And soften your shoulders down from your ears. Release your jaw. Relax your throat. Allow your tongue to rest naturally on the roof of your mouth. And let those little lines we get in our forehead, let those lines relax. Let all of the thoughts, the worries, the fears, the responsibilities, the emails, all the things that we think about that we keep up in there, let them all go, even if it's just for a moment. And allow your mind to relax as much as you are allowing your body to. Feel the weight of your body settling in to the back of your body, and feel your body expand. Feel the front and the sides of your body expanding into the air around you. And allow yourself to take up space. Enjoy that spaciousness that you created inside and all around you. And feel that connection you have to yourself, to the earth, breathe in love for yourself and breathe out love and kindness right or your left side, your choice. You're just gonna curl up in the fetal position. Hopefully y'all didn't fall asleep. Some of you were moving. And just take a moment to just breathe. And when you're ready, you will bring yourself back up to a seated position. Hopefully we are all awake. I think I might have put a couple of you to sleep. No, they're awake now. All right. So bring our hands to heart center. As I end every yoga class I have taught, the light and teacher in me honors the light and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste. I hope you guys feel awesome, because the goal is to feel awesome and super zen. Because here's the other thing, we're going into Easter weekend. So if you got family coming over, this is why we do this, right? If you need more Monday, let me know. But we'll be back to normal on Monday. I hope you guys feel amazing and have a wonderful holiday weekend. And I hope the Easter Bunny comes to you all, because that's me. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good day. Bye, Tara.